Man, I don't know about you, but today feels like one of those days where you can actually feel the direction of this franchise changing. And that's exactly why every Timberwolves fan needs to pay attention, because we've got not just one, but two big stories to break down today. The first one could completely change the identity of this team for the upcoming season. The second gives us a fresh look at the face of the franchise as he gets ready for what might be the biggest year of his career. What's happening behind the scenes right now says a lot about where Minnesota is headed. The way this roster is evolving, the decisions this front office has made, even the vibes surrounding the team's biggest star, it all feels connected. There's a real sense that this isn't just another offseason anymore. Something different is happening with the Timberwolves, and whether that's exciting or a little concerning depends on how you look at it. So today, we're diving into both stories. First, we'll talk about the huge development that's completely reshaping the way this team is built. Then we'll check out the latest update involving Minnesota's superstar that's already getting fans talking. Before we jump in, if you're a real Timberwolves fan, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join us. I'm Henry, and this channel is still brand new. Our first goal is to reach 100 subscribers, and it'd be awesome to have the real Wolves fans who believe in this team's future here with us from the very beginning. So, let's get right into our first story. Because this move officially closes one of the wildest roster transformations we've seen in the NBA over the last few years. The Minnesota Timberwolves have finalized the trade that brings LaMelo Ball to Minneapolis. And when you really step back and look at the bigger picture, it's incredible how much this team has changed in such a short amount of time. Think about where this franchise was just a few seasons ago. The entire identity of the Timberwolves was built around size. The front office paired Karl-Anthony Towns with Rudy Gobert, creating one of the biggest starting lineups in basketball. The idea was simple. If you wanted to compete in the Western Conference, especially against Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, you needed elite size in the front court. And honestly, for a while, that strategy actually worked. After the Nuggets won the NBA championship in 2023, Minnesota became one of the few teams capable of slowing them down. Their massive front court gave Denver real problems in the playoffs, and many people believed the double big experiment had finally paid off. But the NBA changes fast. When that core stopped producing the results the organization wanted, the Timberwolves made another huge move. They traded Karl-Anthony Towns and brought in Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo. Even then, Minnesota still stayed committed to playing big. You still had Rudy Gobert protecting the paint. You had Julius Randle playing power forward. Jaden McDaniels was giving the team great length on the wing. And let's not forget Nez Reid, who won over Timberwolves fans with his energy and versatility, giving Minnesota another quality big man whenever they wanted to go with two traditional front court players. That identity lasted until now. Everything changed once the front office decided to completely reshape this roster. The biggest move, of course, was trading Nez Reid to the Charlotte Hornets as part of the package to acquire LaMelo Ball. Then came another major decision. Minnesota also moved on from Julius Randle's contract, creating the financial flexibility needed to re-sign Ayo. And that's where you really start to see the new vision for this basketball team. Instead of overwhelming opponents with size, the Timberwolves are now expected to open the season with a three-guard lineup featuring LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and Ayo Dosunmu. Sure, LaMelo has great size for a point guard, but he's still a guard. His offensive creativity is exactly what makes him so dangerous, even if defense has never been considered the strongest part of his game. Meanwhile, Ayo Dosunmu is projected to start at small forward despite naturally being a guard, while Jaden McDaniels slides up to power forward. Just think about how different that is compared to only a couple of years ago. The Timberwolves went from having one of the tallest lineups in the entire league to embracing small ball and versatility almost overnight. And when you look around the NBA, it actually makes sense. More and more contenders are leaning into speed, spacing, and versatility instead of simply trying to overpower opponents with size. The Oklahoma City Thunder have shown how effective, smaller, versatile lineups can be. The San Antonio Spurs have done the same, often using players like Devin Vassell or other perimeter-oriented wings in bigger roles instead of relying on traditional size. Teams are becoming more comfortable putting multiple guards on the floor together, because offensive creation and defensive flexibility have become more valuable than simply having the tallest lineup. That's clearly the direction Minnesota believes gives them the best chance to compete. Of course, there are still legitimate questions. Can this group defend consistently with a smaller lineup? Will moving Jaden McDaniels to power forward work against bigger frontcourts? Can LaMelo Ball stay healthy and provide the playmaking this offense has been missing? And maybe the biggest question of all, will this completely new identity finally help the Timberwolves get over the playoff hump? Because make no mistake, this isn't just another trade. This is a complete philosophical shift in how Minnesota wants to play basketball. The era built around two centers and oversized lineups appears to be over. Now, the Timberwolves are betting on speed, shot creation, versatility, and putting the ball in the hands of dynamic playmakers like LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. Whether that gamble pays off is going to be one of the biggest storylines of the entire 2026-2027 NBA season. Now, let's move on to our second story, because while the roster is changing, the face of this franchise is making headlines for a completely different reason. Anthony Edwards showed up at the Timberwolves practice facility this week with a completely new look as he continues preparing for the upcoming season. The team shared photos of the workout, and the first thing everyone noticed was his haircut. Ant has trimmed his hair much shorter compared to last season, giving him a fresh look heading into what could be one of the most important years of his career. Now, obviously, a haircut isn't going to change what happens on the court, but fans love seeing these off-season glimpses because they remind everyone that the work has already started. And honestly, one of the coolest moments from the workout had nothing to do with basketball. Anthony Edwards wasn't alone. He brought his dog, Ant Jr., to the facility. The Timberwolves shared clips of Ant spending a few moments playing with his dog before Ant Jr. sprinted off camera while Edwards got right back to work on the court. It was a fun, lighthearted moment that showed another side of the franchise's biggest superstar. But once the smiles are over, everybody knows the focus immediately shifts back to basketball. Anthony Edwards is coming off another outstanding individual season. The four-time NBA All-Star averaged 28.8 points, 5 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.4 steals per game during the 2025-2026 season. He also posted incredibly efficient shooting numbers, hitting 48.9% from the field while knocking down 39.9% of his three-point attempts. Those were career-high scoring numbers, proving once again that he's becoming one of the league's elite offensive players. The frustrating part is that his individual success didn't translate into the playoff run Timberwolves fans were hoping for. Minnesota was eliminated in the Western Conference semifinals by the San Antonio Spurs, marking the 5th consecutive season that the Timberwolves fell short in the postseason. That's the reality facing this organization right now. Anthony Edwards keeps getting better. His numbers keep improving. His confidence keeps growing. But the team still hasn't taken that next step toward truly competing for an NBA championship. That's exactly why the arrival of LaMelo Ball creates so much excitement. For the first time in years, Anthony Edwards will share the backcourt with an elite playmaker capable of creating offense for everyone around him. Instead of carrying such a massive creation burden every single night, Edwards could finally have another dynamic ball handler who can generate easy opportunities, push the pace, and make life easier for the entire offense. On paper, that sounds incredibly exciting, but there are still questions surrounding this roster. Even after landing LaMelo Ball, Minnesota still has concerns in the front. By moving on from both Julius Randle and Nez Reid, the Timberwolves have left themselves much thinner at power forward than they were a season ago. The front office clearly believes the added speed, ball movement, and offensive versatility will outweigh the loss of size. Now, it's up to this new-look roster to prove that belief was the right one. As fans, that's what makes this upcoming season so fascinating. We're about to watch a completely different version of the Timberwolves than we've seen over the past several years. The days of building around overwhelming size appear to be over. Now the pressure shifts to Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, Dante DiVincenzo, and the rest of this group to show that this faster, more versatile style can finally push Minnesota deeper into the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, nobody is going to judge this team by off-season headlines, new hairstyles, or even blockbuster trades. They're going to be judged by one thing: winning when it matters most. And every Timberwolves fan is hoping this new chapter finally delivers the postseason breakthrough we've all been waiting for. If you enjoyed today's update, Don't forget to hit that like button and let me know down in the comments what you think about both stories. Do you believe the Timberwolves made the right decision completely changing their identity with the LaMelo Ball trade? And what are your expectations for Anthony Edwards and this new-look roster heading into the season? I'm really curious to hear what you think. And if you're a true Timberwolves fan who believes this team can take that next step, subscribe to the channel. Timberwolves Daily News is still brand new, and our first goal is to reach 100 subscribers. We'd love to have the real Wolves fans who want to be part of this community from the very beginning. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate every single one of you who spends a few minutes of your day here with me talking about the Timberwolves. I'll see you in the next video. Go Wolves!